Good afternoon everyone, I hope we are all keeping well. I'm in Essex again. I'm on Canvey Island, one of my favourite places on earth, and I'm with my mate Hambo, who does have a channel. It's simply called Hambo, so please check him out. He does some funny stuff, bits of camping and odds and ends really. He's mainly living in Wales, but he's back home sort of in the Hertfordshire area at the moment, so we're having a catch up. We've not seen each other for a year, I've lost track, 18 months, something like that. Yeah. So what we're going to do today is circumnavigate, the posh word, or basically walk around the whole of Canvey Island. It's something I've always wanted to do. It is possible because there's like a massive seawall and like a footpath going all the way around. We're hoping to wild camp as well at some point, possibly on like the east side of the island. We're currently sort of in West Canvey. We're at the Lobster Smack, which is a really good pub, one of my favourite pubs, and it's actually an old smugglers pub, or they used to sort of, I think they used to like, smugglers used to frequent it, and they'd run out onto the sea wall and like, you know, offload or, you know, contraband goods and stuff from the pub. So that's pretty cool. There's like an information board back there about it. We've been here a while. With asked the owners, they've said, you know, you can park the car here overnight and stuff, which is brilliant. And we've had fish and chips and mushy peas each, and we've had a few Lily ciders as well, because this pub actually stocks Lily cider, which is brilliant. It's quite rare to find. I'll show you some footage of that now. So we've got some more Lily ciders. Hambo's got the rhubarb lilies. We've just had half a pint of that each. That is a confirmed winner. And then this one is pear and raspberry, and that one is mango. That's a guaranteed winner for me. So let's have a little sip of this. And that's very nice, that. Very strong on the raspberry. The pear's quite faint, and these are all still ciders, they're not fizzy. Really nice, good flavours in them. And the mango, always a winner, just what we need. So yeah, this is going to fuel us for the first half of the walk. As I say, walk around the whole of the island. It's about 14 miles in total, and we'll bring you along the way, of course, and tell you all about, of course, two of the best bands ever, especially to come out of Essex, and especially from Canvey Island. Dr. Feelgood from Canvey Island, and of course Eddie and the Hot Rods were from Canvey Island as well. Some of you, probably my older viewers, will probably remember those from like the mid to late 70s and stuff. That's sort of the pub rock genre of music that basically predated punk music, which is something I'm a big fan of. So yeah, this is really cool for me. This is like a fanboys trip, you know, to see all like the sights and stuff, and sort of walk in the footsteps of that brilliant band, Dr. Feelgood. So I'm looking forward to this one. I have done a video here before actually, so if you want to check it out, here's a link. We're heading anti-clockwise. We're anti-clockwise. That's, you can't get lost walking around an island, and I've nearly got us lost straight away. So yeah, we're doing anti-clockwise along the south coast. Hambo's cracking up, mate. We're going to end up in the Thames Estuary if I'm navigating. Hambo's also got me a can of Pussy energy drink. It's a bit of a private joke that me and him have going, so we've just kept it going every time we've met each other. Anyways, let's get moving. Enough talking, let's get walking. As you can see, the other side of the huge concrete like flood wall / sea wall here on Canvey, the tide's in, so we can't go like the other side of the sea wall yet. But if you see this like jetty in front of us, now apparently that is where the photograph for the front cover of the Down by the Jetty album by Dr. Feelgood was taken. So it was their debut album, and one of my favourite albums, of course. And I think they took it at something like 4 AM after a gig in London. they come back and they were all shattered, probably intoxicated in some ways, and the frontman Lee Brillo actually in one of the photos, like the outtakes, actually like fell asleep while the photographer was taking the photograph. They just played a really, you know, like mega gig, and yeah, they took that there, like really cool black and white photo, and yeah, they just look really cool. They look like four dangerous blokes that have just robbed a bank. You know, it's you don't get bands look like that now. It's all pretty boys and stuff. You can see on my back I've got slightly different rucksack, a little bit bulky, stuff hanging off of it. So it's an OEX Rapid. I think it's a 26 or a 24 litre pack. I'm going to say 26. So a lot smaller than my usual Osprey Exos 48. Basically, I thought I want to see what I can fit into this for like a summer kit, and you can't fit a hell of a lot in these bags. You've got to really think about what you're packing. So I'll show you the rest of the kit later on, but yeah, something a little bit different to try out. Hambo has got like a 65 litre rucksack. He's going lightweight for him. He's really sort of, you know, pared his equipment down and stuff apparently. So he usually, I think, carries like a carrier bag of stuff as well, and some extra booze and that. So yeah, we're both going sort of lighter today, so we need it because of the walk in and stuff like that. If I'll just catch up with him. Oh, here's Hambo, by the way.
Oh.
I haven't said hello yet. Yeah. What tent have you got today, mate?
I've got a new tent, which is a Euro Hike Tamar 2, which is like a basic dome tent. I've got a Mountain Warehouse Traveller 50 lightweight summer sleeping bag. I've got a very, very small, thin underpad, just to give a bit of extra protection. I don't think I'll need it, but I've got it just in case, because that can double up as a mat for sitting on.
Yep.
I've got a few spare clothing, usual sort of snacks and some sandwiches for later on.
You're going stoveless, aren't you?
I'm stoveless again, yeah.
Yeah, so Hambo goes with like sandwiches and snacks and stuff, which to be fair is a good shout. In hot weather, do you need a stove? You know, do you need to cook food? So he's going with that, and yeah, you can, you know, for like an overnight, of course you can. I'm actually going to put it out there, I actually wouldn't mind living on Canvey Island. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, there's some planes flying overhead. I don't know where they'd be going to, possibly Southend Airport. Yeah, it's like Rochford Southend Airport. Anyways, waffling too much, let's get walking. We're at Thorney Bay Beach now, on the south side of Canvey, and I just want to draw your attention to what they've done with what would otherwise be a really bleak and drab looking sea wall or defensive flood wall. They've made it like a little promenade. You know, they've not got a proper beach or anything here, but instead what they've done is put this along here, and they've painted murals dedicated to people and stuff. You know, these huge like palm trees and pot plants and stuff. It's really good. I think Canvey really make an effort to, I don't know, beautify the place. You know, it's just great. I could sit here. This is nice. This is as good as any seafront. A black belt is a white belt that never gave up. I like that. We're at Concord Beach. It's a little bit windy, so apologies if there's some wind disturbance, but this really cool Art Deco style building is called the Labworth Cafe, and it's a really iconic Canvey Island landmark. And there was a really cool photo taken of Dr. Feelgood not long after Wilko Johnson, the guitarist, left the band. They stood sort of about here, I think, or maybe just down there when the tide was out, and the photographer took a photo of them with the Labworth Cafe in the background. It's a really cool photo. It's like one of those photos that if you're a fan of any artist, they do a really good photo session. You want it as like a poster on your wall. I think it's really cool. I wouldn't mind going in there when it's open. It's closed at the moment. I think it's quite fancy food and a little bit expensive, but even just going there for a drink would be worth it. Yeah, that's the Labworth. So you got the fun fair just behind the Labworth Cafe, and then you've got another famous Art Deco building called the Monaco. I've been in there once before, and I believe Dr. Feelgood may well have played a gig or a few gigs there. I know they used to drink in there as well. Hambo's just putting some more sun cream on because it's deceptively hot. Even though we've got the breeze coming in off the sea down the estuary, it's really warm. So yeah, this is kind of like the seafront or promenade bit, like the main strip, as it were, of Canvey on the south side of the island. I believe it was also up here on like these steps up above the sea wall was where Wilko Johnson also filmed some of the Oil City Confidential documentary, and like they was interviewing him and stuff up here. Like I say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, honestly, watch the documentary, it's brilliant. So yeah, we just carry on walking along the sea wall here, and there's some more murals to see. There's just loads, and also all the benches along the sea wall, pretty much around this side of the island, are all dedicated to someone or something, like memorials and stuff like that. It's just that attention to detail that, you know, whoever is in charge of Canvey and stuff, they've put a lot of thought into that, and I like that. I respect that a lot. So here's obviously a mural of one of the local pubs, and how cool is this? Dr. Feelgood have obviously played there. This is one of my favourite ones. I think it's meant to be tongue-in-cheek, so it was written in 1985. Canvey is England's Lords. Mary's house. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
So this mural here is particularly important and quite poignant. So it tells you about like the history of the sea wall here, and kind of, I suppose, what happened leading up to, and the events of the big flood here. I think it was 1953. I'm not sure. Might have got that wrong, but there's literally like a timeline running the whole length of the wall. I'm probably not going to be able to film it all because there's like people sat on benches in front of it, so I don't want to disturb them. But just goes to show you the effort that Canvey and Friends of Concord Beach have put into all of this. It is incredible. Look at that. Yeah, it was February 1953. Northerly gales of 70-mile-an-hour winds builds up the sea, producing an abnormally high tide. And yeah, there was an old sea wall, and of course it gave way and caused Canvey to flood. Canvey is below sea level. It was reclaimed from the sea by Dutch engineers, I believe. You can see where people had to sit on the roofs of their houses where the flood water came up so high. And this is one of the famous scenes of the whole ordeal. There was a famous black and white photo of a police officer carrying a small child, rescuing a small child from the floods. And they had to be evacuated and stuff in makeshift accommodation on mainland schools. It says some of the victims were buried in a local cemetery, literally almost like being evacuated from London during the war again. And then here they're sort of putting sandbags up along the seawall. Like, this seawall wasn't here at the time. The epic struggle by local people, the armed forces and engineers to rebuild the sea defences. Canvey Island was not the only place devastated by the Great Storm of 1953. Princess Victoria sinks off of Ireland. Pretty detailed mural. Lives lost: Netherlands 1,836, England 307, Belgium 28, Scotland 19, and lost at sea 240. So it affected a large area, like several countries. And then this is the section of the wall talking about like the sea wall being built. In 1975 to 83, the seawall was rebuilt, and I am today to protect you all. And there we go. It's pretty cool. And note how they've sort of used like the sunrise and stuff, like, you know, hope. Sort of, it's quite positive. January 2014, a similar storm surge to that of the Great Storm of 1953 brought the tide up to the red line below. There it was there, so it come up that high, but the wall was here and Canvey remained safe. Thanks for reading my story. Lottery funded. I think that's brilliant along the seawall there. That's so cool. Right, we're at a really, really cool mural now, and this was, well, one of them was actually painted by my mate Liam from Beyond the Point TV. It's a really good YouTube channel. They do a lot of history and urbex, like urban exploration, historical documentation, exploring ruins and stuff. And he's a native to Canvey, so it's very special to him. In fact, I believe the name of the channel, Beyond the Point TV, was coined from Canvey Point on the island. Here it is. This is the one that documents the island's rich musical heritage. Really cool. I'll show you this one now. She got the Bullet Blues Band. You've got Force 5, whose famous song Year I'm Waiting was from 1965. And then of course the main one, the best local band in the world. The best local band in the world, Dr. Feelgood. And that's like their logo, and then that's like one of the famous photos of them. So you had like Wilco Johnson, the lead guitarist, you had the drummer, the big figure, the late great Lee Brillo, who was the front man, of course, front man, rhythm guitar sometimes, and harmonica, vocals of course, and then Sparko, the bassist. And there we go, by Liam Heatherson, that's my mate. Really cool. Liam's very artistic and creative. And then you've got Eddie and the Hot Rods, really cool band, and their famous song was Do Anything You Want to Do, 1977. Dave Higgs, Barry Masters, Steve Nicol and Paul Gray, plus Lou Lewis in 1976. There we go, I didn't know this. Clara James founded the first ever Women's Institute on Canvey Island in 1923. I never knew that. That's another claim to fame for Canvey. First Women's Institute was founded here. Brilliant. So this mural here commemorates the Dutch engineers that reclaimed Canvey from the sea, I believe. They, sort of I suppose drained it and stuff, because as I say, it sits below sea level, so without the wall it would be prone to flooding and like high tides. And these little Dutch cottages, there's two on the islands. This one is actually a museum, and the other one is on the corner of the road going to the Lobster Smack, and it actually came up for sale not long ago for about $250,000. So this is like a timeline of the history of mural painting. Just gets better, this seawall. So all through the ages, different continents and cultures and their take on mural painting. European modern. You are now entering common sense. Northern Ireland, North American, and then it comes right back up to street painting as well, which is quite cool, because I think some graffiti artwork is actually like is artwork in itself. Some of it's quite pretty, and then like there's a guy jet washing it the thing, which is brilliant. How cool is that? So it was by Richard Ashton. He's done actually a lot of these, I think. There you go, have a little read of that if you want. So I think this was probably one of the original bits of graffiti that was on the wall, and they've just sort of preserved it. It's the Canvey Moose from 1990. So these two ladies here are working on this new mural at the moment, which is all about like the C word, the pandemic and stuff, and how it's affected the community. They've not finished it yet at the moment, but what they're saying is at the end there's going to be trees, and on the trees on the leaves of the trees, sorry, it's going to be all the names of the people from the island that have passed away from the pandemic. And I get the feeling they're doing this for no money whatsoever. They're just doing it because they love the island. I tell you what, that's amazing to see these people actually going out and doing that. Good on them, absolutely brilliant. You don't have to be a superhero to help. Not all superheroes wear capes. We've arrived at the eastern end of Canvey Island, and here, sort of on this corner, like just below us, there's a really nice poignant mural to the crew of an aircraft that crashed here at like Canvey Point out there in the Second World War. Quite windy again. The B-17G aircraft collision. Named Heavenly Body 2, and that's the crew there. And then one of the survivors, Richard Andrews, meets the Queen, and it shows you the crash site there at Canvey. It was like a collision in mid-air, I believe, there and there in the middle of the Thames Estuary. So we're at the beach, the tide is right out, it does come up to sort of about here, but as long as we sort of pitch up sort of down the back here, it'll be fine. High tide's at about 3:30, it's going to be tomorrow morning, so we're going to wait until about 8:30 tonight to set up, so we've got an hour to kill. So I just thought I'd quickly show you this sort of newish setup that I'm rocking. So there's the 2 1-litre Nalgene bottles, and then there's a 500ml sports bottle that I've been drinking from today. Bungee cord, like you get on market stalls, to hold this silver foam mat to the back. That's actually doubling as like a sit mat and stuff like that. I've borrowed 6 of Hambo's sand stakes. There's a bottle of meths in there for cooking. My car keys are in there as well, and I can fit one of those Nalgene bottles in there as well. Then on the other side there's my brand new OEX Kulin, I don't know how you pronounce it, waterproof jacket. That's like my main insulative wear. Thought I don't need a down jacket, that'll keep the worst off me, and I've got like a thermal layer and a long sleeve wicking top as well as what I'm wearing. The other one pocket has got my other bottle of meths in there and some sun cream, and then the other water bottle goes in there, that's my sports bottle water holster thing, and yeah, that is the outside of the rucksack. I think there's like a protein bar in each of these, so some snacks and some beef jerky, so snacks for the walk, which I've not eaten yet, which is not good. Let's unclip this, unclip that. Oh, my mistake, it's the OEX Rapide 24, so it's a 24 litre rucksack, and I've squeezed everything into that. In this front pocket here, what I've got in here, a little microfiber towel, my titanium spork, a little through night keyring light, very bright that, and another little light there as well, don't really need that. What else is in there? I think my microphone for the camera was in there as well. And then let's flip this up. So it's a very simple rucksack really. It's probably more used as a day rucksack, but you know, I'm trying to sort of go back to being a bit more lightweight. There's my OEX long sleeve wicking top, sunglasses which I've not worn today, then some shit tickets. Hambo's got wet wipes, so save the day. That's in that top pocket there, and let's open up the main compartment. Very basic first aid kit, pills, plasters. I think there's some there's like gauze, like a burn gel sachet as well, blister plaster kit, tick remover, safety pin for popping blisters. Then main source of light is the Wowtac A2S head torch. It's a good little head torch that. I've had that a long time. It's very bright, very good. Takes like the big dildo batteries or the vibrator batteries. Penknife, chewing gum. Might have a bit of that in a minute actually. So that's that pocket. It's the tags. I kept the tags for everything, like, because I was thinking of putting all the specifications up of the bag and my new tent. That's me cook set, titanium outkit pot and mug in there. That's me Climate Static V mat, the summer mat, my new one. 530 grams that is. Cost me about 40 quid. It's not bad. Yeah, we've got a cider for tonight. Winter spiced plum and apple. It's the only small tin I had left. Then in here, that's all my food. Some new dehydrated meals to show you later on. Teas, coffee, bit of hot chocolate, breakfast, snacks. Then this main thing here, that's the tent. So it's the OEX Fox 1 V2. In this OEX dry bag, I've got, what have we got in here? I've got this, it's a OEX balaclava. Instead of a hat, I thought I'm going to bring that. Sleeping pillow, the Trekology Aleph 2. Then a thermal long sleeved top, sleeping in. Some OEX men's thermal leggings, so base layer to sleep in. A spare pair of socks, I can sleep in those and then maybe wear them tomorrow. A little eye mask to sleep in, just helps me fall asleep. And that is it in that dry bag. And then at the bottom, so I've just got to move my feet, they're absolutely killing me. Sat on them. And then this is my Mountain Warehouse Vacation Anti-Bug Summer Bag. It's got a built-in zip-up mesh face, and then inside it I've got an OEX silk sleeping bag liner. That's the sleeping bag. Then in the back here, a silver like foil sheet thing, I don't know what it is, like a ground sheet that I put under under the tent, you know, just to sort of protect the floor of it. Just one of those cheap metal windshields. So I've got that alcohol stove, and that is it. Yeah, that's your lot, people. That's all I've got. Let's have a look at the cook kit, in case any of you new to the channel have not seen what I've usually got. So there's the 2 bottles of meth. Sometimes I've got 3, but I thought, no, I'll just take 2. That'll be enough for an overnight tonight. The cook kit, I'll try and keep this as minimal as possible. So it's these Outkit titanium pots. I've had them for quite a while. I've got bigger pots, but it's about all I need really. So mesh bag to keep it all in. Lid. That's the mug and the other stuff in it. That's my pot. It's 650ml. That's about all I need really to do some water for my dehydrated meals and hot drink at a time. And in this one, that mug I believe is 400ml. And inside got a little OEX ferro rod, so that'll never fail you. You can always light stuff with that. I've got 2 of these with me, just a stormproof, like windproof lighter. It's a spare battery for the head torch, and little what's it, scouring pad, sort of sponge. They're bigger than that, but I cut them into smaller bits because you only really need that much, don't you? I'll carry a big one. Some tin foil I'll just put down the ground, so I'll put the stove on so it doesn't like burn anything. It makes it a bit more stable. And this is the thing that Hambo next to me very kindly made me, this very ultralight nifty little wire pot stand. And then inside at the bottom of the mug is the stove itself. So it's is it a shoe polish tin or boot polish tin?
Lip balm type tin.
Lip balm type tin. Open it up. There's a smaller one he made me, but I've been using this bigger one. Tightly wrapped inside is was it carbon felt?
Yeah.
Carbon felt. And if you're unfamiliar with these stoves, you literally just, you know, put it on your tin foil with your wire pot stand over it, fill that reservoir up with your fuel so that it sort of soaks in, and you see a little bit on the top. Light it, put a windshield around it, and away you go. And then in there there's some stormproof matches, some water purification tablets, I won't need them, some more tin foil, some cotton wool. It's just something I always carry. It doesn't take up a lot of space, it's nice and light, and you never know when you need to, I don't know, light a fire or something, but don't need to tonight. These are these new dehydrated meals that I've been trying out. Food on the move. It's a chicken korma with long grain white rice, and look how thin that is, lightweight. It only needs 300ml of water. A lot of dehydrated meals take a lot more. It's got a gusset bottom on it as well, so you can stand it up. And then the dessert, same company again, hot lemon pudding, creamy dessert with real lemon apparently, 200ml for that one. For breakfast, same company again, chocolate granola with full cream milk. Nice, 175ml for that. If you really wanted to be clever, you could look at how much water you're going to need, tot all of that up, and then take into account, oh well, I'm going to need this amount for X amount of teas and hot drinks and stuff in your mug, and then maybe give yourself a little bit extra water for like cleaning pots and stuff, and just in case you have a spillage. And you know, you could actually be really anal about all this and calculate how much water you actually need, and you could bring just that amount of water or whatever. But I don't know, I can't be bothered with that. I always think you never know when you're going to need a bit more water. Then drinks tonight, Galaxy hot chocolate, lovely jubbly. A little nighttime tea, very nice. That's all my pills, nothing dodgy, just you know, good old multivitamins and glucosamine tablets, turmeric capsules. There's some ZMA capsules, it's good for, you know, helping with sleep, not sleeping pills though, stuff like that. Just look after yourself. I've got a little Twinings defense tea, I'm liking these at the moment, citrus and ginger with green tea and echinacea, got vitamin C in it apparently, so I'll have that in the morning. I've got a little ginger tea as well, maybe for lunch have that. Oh, and then maybe also in the morning I'll have this mint chocolate flavour instant coffee, and a couple of protein bars in the one pocket. Oh, and a pack of I think it's like bacon jerky or something like that. So that is literally all the gear now, apart from like the camera gear that you see. There's a little microphone, like clip-on microphone, this battery pack and my cable, the phone and tripod. I think it's time to crack open this little Alska cider, 4%. See how shook up it is. No, it's alright. Cheers. Definitely would taste better in the winter, but it's all I had left. Very plummy, as it says, spice plum and apple. Yeah, it's alright. It's not too shabby. 7.8 out of 10. That's the OEX Fox 1 V2. There are definitely a few changes to this newer version than the original. Yeah, I used to own the original one, like the black with like red piping one, like the original version when they first brought it out. And yeah, it was a good little tent. I had a couple of sort of nightmare camps with it. It probably weren't the tent's fault, but if I'd have had a different tent, it probably would have fared a bit better. But I think really it was one of those camps where you go, you shouldn't be out in this kind of weather, go home. Needless to say, I sold that tent to my mate Richard, and then my mate Luke from the Real Travelling Amigos channel, he had one of these on our Eden Valley walk that we did recently in Kent, and I was having a bit of a nightmare with me Terra Nova laser comp tent, and I looked at his and was like, do you know what, it's so simple, it's nice, it's perfect for like kind of decent weather like this. I mean, I've used like the original one in bad weather as well, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to get one. I just liked it, and yeah, I'm impressed with it so far. It's all good. It's got those set up. Hambo's got his tent set up. He's just here. His tent is just in the background there. So remind us what it is again.
There's a Euro Hike Tamar 2.
So it's two-person in there. It's not got much of a porch, you said, or
No,
a porch at all.
It's got a porch, but very, very tiny.
Right, but he's got loads of space in that, and it's double skin in it.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I'm impressed with my gear choices on this one. I think I'm going to be alright with it. It goes to show you sometimes you just don't need as much stuff as you think you do, especially in summer. You look at sort of like kits that you've taken out before and go, well, I didn't use half of that stuff, and you think, right, okay, similar sort of weather, similar scenarios and stuff, you go, well, I'm not going to need that again, am I? So well, you just look at stuff that does double duty, like, you know, this is my insulative layer and it'll be good for if it rains. So it's time for a little taste test of this chicken korma with rice. I added a tiny bit more water to it. Quite grainy. Tastes very similar to a lot of chicken korma, like dehydrated meals I've had before. I think there's a bit of chicken there. It's alright, it's not my favourite meal anyway. Like, I bought some others when I ordered these, and this was like my third choice really over some of the others, so it's alright, it's not bad, I'll eat it. This is the outcome of the hot lemon pudding. I may have made it a little bit too runny. It looks very much like baby food, and it tastes alright. It's not bad. I'm not going to lie, it's not the best dessert I've ever had, but it is edible. I'm inside the little OEX Fox 1 V2. It's, yeah, not the most spacious of tents, but it's just enough space. Getting changed into sleeping stuff and blowing up a mat and things like that sort of take a little bit longer, just because you have to sort of kind of navigate your way around a little tent. You know, you sort of have to move carefully and stuff, and that's the only downside to it really. But it's a really low profile little stealthy tent. Still more space than a hoot bivvy, of course. It's still pretty warm out. There's a slight breeze, which is nice. So I've just got like a wicking vest, my thermal OEX leggings on, and I've just got my feet bare at the moment because I thought I'd let them air out and stuff, as we've done a few miles and stuff today. Then we've got a few more to go tomorrow. I'll put my clean spare socks on maybe before I go to sleep, or if my feet get cold in the night, but I don't think there's any chance of that. I think it's going to be sort of comfortable temperature, which is good. It's been really good. Everything's gone according to plan, and I'm really pleased with my kit choices. In fact, this might be something I might start doing actually, is for like when I'm doing those like the long distance walks where I'm doing like a section at a time, I might actually try out that little OEX rucksack again, because it makes me cut down on like kit that I don't need. And yeah, I think that could work really well, and it'd be the same sort of thing again, lots of walking with an overnight camp. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe sort of the walk's a lot easier as well. Hopefully get some sleep. So enough yawning, I'll see you in the morning. Night everyone. Morning everyone. It's 6:15. I actually slept really well. I actually got quite a bit of sleep, and I feel so much better. Face don't look it, but I feel better, trust me. 5 AM the rain started, and it was really heavy, like you know when you get rain on the tent and the sound is deafening. It was like that. And there was also some quite strong winds at one point. I was like, is this tent going to be okay? But it was quite nice being in the tent during like heavy rain and stuff. And excuse me, it held up just fine. So this little tent's had quite the test on its maiden voyage, which is good. It's still raining now, but it's very light. You might just be able to hear it. I want to get as much stuff as I can packed away in here, get dressed. Of course, we'll have a look outside, see what's going on. made quite a good bit of progress around the north shore. It's very quiet around here, there's no shops or anything, so we've made sure we've got enough water. It's very quiet along this bit. We may have seen 3 or 4 people. It is a Tuesday, so it's going to be a bit quieter. Over there on the mainland is the magnificent ruins of Hadley Castle, up on the hill overlooking the Thames Estuary. I've camped there twice before. I'll try and stick some links up here for you. It's a really beautiful site, sort of the castle overlooking Canvey Island, and Canvey can sort of look out up onto the hill and see like the old drum tower and stuff of the castle. If you've not been to Hadley Castle, seriously check it out, it's amazing up there. One thing I've noticed the whole time we've been walking around Canvey, hardly any rubbish, hardly any dog shit either. Honestly, for the most part it's really tidy and clean, and I think a lot of the sea wall paths are really well maintained as well. I'm not just saying that, I genuinely do believe it. So like, before you knock Canvey, you know, just sort of watch this video and sort of look at it and think, actually, you know what, it's not as bad as people were making out, I don't think. For me it's a bit like Jaywick really, on the Essex coast, you know. Yeah, and everyone's been really friendly and like saying hello and stuff. It's all very lovely here. Oh, we're just approaching the golf course. As we know, golf spoils a good walk. Sorry, Gary. This is where a recent channel that I've been following is based. Alex Hibbert Originals. He's like an Arctic explorer. He's bought like one of those old orange lifeboats, and he's doing it up for the Dark Ice project, which I think he wants to reach the North Pole on foot by like during the winter months when it's dark in that, you know, part of the world. Like it's permanently dark, hence the Dark Ice project. He's doing up this lifeboat. He's going to equip it so that it's like ready for like the frozen ice seas and stuff around like the North Pole and all that. And it's a really good channel. I've literally only just sort of discovered it, and I've just binge watched all the videos on him restoring the lifeboat and doing the sea trials along the creek and out to the Mornsell sea faults out past the Thames Estuary. It's named the lifeboat Alan. Apparently it's unlucky to name a vessel after a male name, but he just went, nope, I'm calling it Alan. It's really cool. So he's a really funny guy, very clever, very intelligent, knows how to build things, and really interesting. He's got books out as well. So you see there's something orange just through there. Might just be able to make it out somewhere there. It's Alan the Lifeboat from Alex Hibbert Originals. Absolutely brilliant. I can't believe it, I've actually seen it. That is the lifeboat. It's so cool, like, to see that in real life, and I've seen it on YouTube. Love Alan the Lifeboat, it's great. Go on, Alan. Alan! Alan! There's another view of Alan. Alan! Absolutely brilliant. That's made my day, that has. There's Alan, one final shot. We've arrived at like the northwest corner of the island now, and this is the main crossing onto Canvey Island, Canvey Way, or Remembrance Way I think it's called. So let's go under the bridge. I start to feel that estuary breeze again. We're coming back around to it. And it looks like the tide's coming in now along this creek, sort of round the back of Canvey. It's what separates it from the mainland, of course, making it an island. And literally since we've left the road, the bridge crossing, this footpath has been really overgrown and it's seldom walked. We saw an elderly gentleman running a few minutes ago, and we'd passed him at about, I think, 10 o'clock this morning, back round by the golf course, and he was running towards us, and then when we saw him again a few minutes ago, he's running towards us again. And I said to Hambo, I think that means he's done an entire lap of the island, jogging an entire lap of the island in what, 2.5, 3 hours? I mean, I suppose it is doable, but this is quite rough terrain, some of this. And either way, that's incredible, especially for a man of his age. And we both said hats off to him. That is impressive in this heat as well. I'm sure to some people that's not that impressive, but to me that is. I'm not built for running. That's absolutely mad. Centre of the screen is two like huge flood barriers for the creeks here, and then you can see over here is like Shell Haven, like oil refinery and depot, and the flares and the chimneys and stuff. There's like cranes for the docks over there. We're going to be heading along here. That's Oikos oil refinery, so sort of to the right of that, sort of about there, is probably the lobster smack. So we've literally got the last bit to do, which will probably take the longest. But we're nearly there. Soon those cold pints of Coke will be ours. Can't wait. We've smashed it out today. We've done, what do we reckon we've done, how many miles?
I reckon so far about 7, possibly 8.
7 or 8 miles. The southern shore and what's it like, the eastern part round by Canvey Point and the yacht club. Those two parts are the most interesting without a doubt. This is sort of a little bit bleaker, a little bit quieter, a bit more remote. Reminds me a lot of like around the Dartford Creek and stuff on the Thames Estuary when we did the Darrant Valley Path. Those clouds look a bit threatening over there actually. So we'll put our foot down and get to the pub. that's our last major thing we're going to see now before the pub and the end. It's been great fun, this walk. We'll see you at the pub. And here we are. Here is the Lobster Smack pub. We've reached the end. We've done a complete circle of Canvey Island. Excellent. Yes. So we just had a couple of non-alcoholic cold drinks at the pub. Very, very nice, well deserved. Probably the best 2 cold soft drinks I think I've ever had. And we sat in the car just because my battery pack's died and the phone is on like really low battery, so I've sort of had to plug it into the car. So we're using this sort of setup. Hambo is here. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, it's been great, mate. Thank you very much. Enjoyed that.
Well done on the walk. I think. Oh, I can't quite get you in shot. You have to squat down a little bit. You'll have to squat down a bit. That's it. You know, like the school photos. Someone will look and be like, "Why is that slightly older man, for like you said, kneeling down in front of that younger man's car with the door open?" It looks like dogging or something, doesn't it? Here anyway. What a fitting end to what's been a great 2 days walking around Canvey Island. I think it's about 14 miles. That like north section was tougher, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And then coming down the west side was very sort of bleak, wasn't it? Really, well, it was the scenery and the footpath wasn't as well maintained either.
No, it looked like no one walks round sort of that way, apart from the old guy that was running around the whole island. But the southern side and like East Canvey by the yacht club and that was brilliant, and the sea wall, like the defence wall with all the murals on was amazing, really nice. And yeah, I think it's a lovely little island, Canvey. It's, you know, there's always going to be sort of good and bad parts everywhere, and I think you shouldn't focus on like the bad parts of some places, because I think Canvey's good parts overshadow its bad parts, if that makes sense. So there's sort of maybe a backhanded compliment, I don't know.
Yeah, but and also I must say as well, the actual, I think it's probably one of the cleanest places I've seen from a litter perspective. There's hardly any litter we saw anywhere, and also dog poo as well. It's like we saw bits and pieces, but nowhere near as much as you see in other towns and villages and cities.
Definitely.
Yeah, very impressed with that side of it.
And I think everyone seemed really friendly, you know, with
everybody's hello.
Yeah, exactly. It's been really nice, and you see lots of people out cycling, dog walking, running. It's a nice little, you know, community, and lots of history as well and stuff. There's, you know, some derelict stuff, and then there's, you know, stuff like, you know, there's a couple of museums and, you know, more sort of obvious sort of bits of history on the island. Overall, it's been really good, and the camp was good as well.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I think we picked the right spot with the beach in the end. We sort of found maybe a couple of possible spots along the northern side of the island, but from there it didn't really look like an island as such. It was so close to the mainland, I don't think it would have looked as good on the camera personally, whereas like the beach I thought looked really good. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a great time.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Cheers.
And yeah, get in the comments and let us know what you think. Hopefully I'll get to see Hambo again before he goes back to Wales, but if not, I am planning on going to Wales to visit him, and we'll do some stuff and meet up and, you know, look at some walks and maybe some places to try and camp and stuff like that. Should be good. So thank you very much for joining us. Take care of yourselves, look after each other, stay safe everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Cheers.